Hey guys, Michael Prescott here, divorced father, family court survivor, and disabled veteran. I am a survivor and struggling survivor of PTSD. And right now I want to talk about the most horrible topic in custodial family court arena. There is nothing worse that can happen to you than what I'm going to talk about right now. It deals with parental alienation. For those of you who don't know what that means, that's when one parent tries to make your child alienate or hate you, and by putting false things in their head. And my case is sealed. I'm not allowed to talk about things, so I will say this. What I'm going to share with you isn't so much per case, it's per my life. And my ex accused me and my current wife, who is my best friend, of sexually molesting my daughter. And her sister went down to the police department and convinced them that my wife and I made my daughter get naked and sleep with us in bed, and we did sexual things. And it is the most disgusting thing that's ever been said to me. I want to be crystal clear of my view on pedophiles. I think they should all be deceased. I don't think there's a place on earth for them anywhere. It's not open for discussion with me. I don't think they should be locked up for life or castrated. I think they should be cremated. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And I'm a pretty educated guy. I'm pretty smart. I played chess in school as a captain of a chess club. Had a TSSCI, top secret sensitive compartment information clearance in the military. I attended William and Mary, College of William and Mary through St. Leo's CLEP programs in the military. It's the second oldest university in the U.S., only to Harvard. I think of it as an Ivy League. And I have an engineering background. I've managed large companies. I've owned several companies. I'm a published author. And I will tell you, I've done stupid stuff in my day, but nothing sick or demented as that. And I remember the police coming and knocking at my door, and I opened the door. I knew right away they were dressed as painters, disguised. And I said, come on in, guys. I already know what this is about. And was very cooperative. And I was locked in a cell for 14 days during COVID. I refused to eat. I went in roughly at about 220 pounds. When I got out, I was 175 pounds in 14 days. I did not eat and I did not drink. Nothing for 14 days. They had doctors coming in and checking on me continuously. And a fellow naval officer friend of mine, yes, I was in the Navy as a non-commissioned officer. He's a criminal attorney, and my wife reached out to him, and he got me out with an ankle monitor. And I stayed under house arrest till this dragged out for several months. So I started thinking, okay, instead of being emotional, and I knew my ex was going to do this because she wanted full custody, and we had joint physical, and she wanted this. And every time she tried to get it, she lost over and over and over. You know, I put my daughter in Girl Scouts. I paid for her to go to private schools. I wanted the best for my daughter. She was seeing a court therapist. I found out later that she was crying to the therapist saying, why doesn't my mom love me as much as my stepmom does? And I felt so sad to hear that. My ex was dressing my daughter up as a boy and following me around town, stalking me. She was parking cars out in front of my house with cameras in them. She hired private eyes, trying to dig up any kind of dirt on me if possible. And it was sickening and disheartening. So I sat back thinking, okay, What can I do to help my attorney help me? And I said, well, knowing the field that I worked in the military with naval intelligence and cryptology and stuff, and at weapon stations, I remember doing polygraphs. They want to make sure, I mean, you're straddling a nuclear warhead at a weapons depot, you better have your shit together, right? So I started calling around polygraph people, reading up in the yellow pages. And I remember the very first person I found, his name was James Hanna, right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I told him my situation. And I'll never forget him saying something to the fact of, you're not going to want to hire me. I'm not the guy you want. And I said, why is that? And he said, well, number one, I teach polygraph. I'm unbeatable. I deal with scumbags in this topic all day. That's my specialty. You know, pedophilia, whatever, child abuse. And the state of Nevada, the prosecutor's office, is who I always represent. They hire me. And I look to put people like you away. And I never forget going, thank you, Lord. This is exact. And I told him, then you are the exact person I want. You're the guy. Because if anybody thinks I'm that kind of person, I don't want to go to prison. I want to be cremated. That's it. I don't deserve to breathe. And so he said, if that's what you want, but no, if you fail my polygraph, I will turn it over to the state. And I said, I will pay you to turn it over. So we went in, my wife and I, and my current wife, and we did our polygraphs. And I remember him saying something to me, saying that I put faith back into him because he deals with this, that life is very depressing to him because he deals with liars every day, failing polygraphs and bullshit, and that I pass it with flying colors. And that he would go before the state if they subpoenaed him and say, this guy never did this. It's an absolute lie. And they did multiple polygraphs. And I passed them. And I will tell you, being in a cell with a pair of orange shorts, barefoot, no blanket, no sheet, no pillow, on concrete for 14 days, not eating or drinking water, and losing weight. I have class 2 medicine that I'm required to take or I will die. While being arrested, I had a heart attack. I was put in the hospital for a few days with EKG monitors showing I had a severe heart attack from the stress of this and surviving this. And it was horrific. And I remember how I found out is I got a call. I was actually playing poker at the Bellagio Casino in their poker room. It was sometime around 6 or 7 at night. I got a call from an officer, said he was a detective at Las Vegas Metro, and he wanted me to come down and interview for that very reason, that the charges. And I said, this is some kind of a sick joke, and I don't find it funny. And I hung up thinking, what kind of, pervert, my ex was up to some kind of garbage. And I got the call back, and the caller ID was, and he said, listen, call Las Vegas Police Department, ask for this detective, and it'll come right through to me if you think I'm bullshit. So I did, and it went right to him. So this was really a police detective, and he wanted me to come in for questioning. And I said, I'll never forget, I said, I will come in right now on one condition, one. And he said, what's that? I said, anything you ask me is done through a polygraph. That's it. If you polygraph my questions, I will come in and answer any question you want about any topic on earth. And he said, we don't do that. That's TV. We don't do that here. We're not set up for that. And so I said, well, I'm not coming in. I'll get a lawyer. So, and that's, like I said, my lawyer prepared me to be arrested, the whole 9 yards. So anyways, after they had the James Hanna polygraph results, they called my attorney and they said, We're willing to drop all charges on Michael if he's willing to come down to the police department and do a polygraph right there. And I'm like, done. So we go down there, and the first thing I said to these two guys in a small little room, I said, you guys are the biggest piece of shits on face of the earth. Because they said, this could have been avoided if you just came in. I said, I literally said I would come in right then if you did all questions through a polygraph. And you guys said, that's for TV. That's in movies. We don't do that here. And here I am at the police department for a fucking polygraph. You fucking liars. You ruined my fucking life. My first arrest, and it's for child sex abuse charges? Are you fucking kidding me? There's no fixing that. That's on my record till the end of time, forever and ever. Doesn't matter, innocent or guilty. You fucked my life. I was so furious. But they come back and go, you know what? We looked over everything. You're good to go. It's all fine. Again, it could have been avoided. Oh, I was so pissed. I wanted to punch him right in the fucking face. Cops are fucking liars. They are liars. They're the big... I'd rather work with the mob. I'd rather work with fucking Sammy the Bull in his prime than these motherfuckers. So, do your homework. Just know your ex-wife will do anything to get one up on you. Any charge. And when everything fails and the only thing left I got, oh, he's having sex with my kid. And when it finally came time to go to trial, the prosecutor came out and said to my attorney, we have credibility issues with our clients. And my attorney said, you think so? Yeah, we're going to drop all charges with prejudice, meaning we can't bring it back up again. And it was done. I was so hurt I wanted to leave the country. But my attorney says, you can't leave the country, Mike, till you seal your records, because that arrest is going to show up. Like if you want to go to Asia with a pedophile arrest, never going to be allowed in that country, ever. You're going to throw money out. So I had to wait to have my records sealed. Well, here's the crazy part. In the state of Nevada, you have to wait a year after the case is closed to seal it. And to seal it takes another year. So you've got to wait for the case to completely close. So even though we were done with court, it took like another 6 months for them to close out the file. So they close it. Now I have to wait 12 months. No new shit pops up. And then I file to have it sealed, and that takes another year. So I was stuck living in the U.S. for 2.5 years. I didn't even want to be in Nevada, so I moved to Phoenix to get away from everything. But here's the deal. Just know, that ex of yours will do anything. She'll sit there and cry, boo-hoo, I'm a girl, I'm crying, and she'll stick it to you, bro. So trust me when I tell you, CYA, cover your ass. Be prepared. It's like chess. Be ready for that fucked up move that she's going to make and have your ass covered. Because it's not if, it's when. So cover your ass and just know. That's the best advice I can give you. And listen, man, the thoughts that went through my mind, oh my God, the revenge, the payback, the things I want to do, not just to my ex, to my kid, to her whole family. I wanted the utmost revenge. What, as bad as you can think, you can't think what I thought. And to this day, as I'm speaking to you, I still want it. But wanting it and reacting are two different things. Doing it are two different things. I went through years of psychiatric therapy. And it gave me the worst case of PTSD I've ever had. And I live with it every single day. I cry at night. And the only thing that can help me is to block it out. Bringing this up to help other guys that are going through what I went through is so hard for me to do, because I'm having to relive it by helping you and tell you. And I do this out of the love for man, because I don't want you to have to go through what I went through. But should you find yourself in that position, reach out to me. I'm here for you. I love you, brother. I know. I've been there. I live it every single day, and I'll take it to my grave. Don't give up. Don't fall weak to emotions. Stay strong. Use your mind. Be patient. Be thoughtful. And be a survivor. I wish you the best, and I hope my videos help you. Reach out to me anytime. I'm there for you. I mean it. I don't care what hour it is. If you're thinking of stupid shit, call me. Michael Prescott, 702-817-2911. Please, I hope this helps you, man. Peace be with you. I love you. And most of all, find God in your heart.